Hello, it's Mike at TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your 2024 Flagstaff Epro 19 FDS travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A few things to take into consideration when you're parking. On your campsite, I want you to leave plenty of room for that awning. On your off campsite, besides your little slide, I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. They're both going to be at the rear of the unit. The power is going to plug in here, and your water connection is going to be over toward the campsite in the rear of the unit. That's where you plug in that campsite. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive, unhook our hitch. First thing we're going to do is level our unit. And it comes with a power tongue jack. Lower to bring it down. Top to bring it up. Now it does have a night docking light should you arrive at night, and a manual override. You have to take off this bike rack, but underneath this rubber stopper in the bottom is a little bolt that your hand crank, the smaller of the two hand cranks, will get on to bring this up and down. Once you get your unit level, next thing you're going to do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit got these quick drop stabilizing jacks. You're simply going to unhook your safety latch. Now before I run these down, I'm going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads will protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt, debris, keep them from sinking into hot blacktop. Better to distribute the weight than these little pads. Get a 4-pack of those from our store with your 10% off coupon. Put them down, crank this twice to the right, get a hold of this, and quick drop these. Just pull up on that cotter and that'll drop down like that onto your pads, and then give it a couple more cranks to go ahead and lock that down. Now remember, we don't want to lift this. Once it feels like it's start lifting, stop. Our unit's already level, we're just trying to stabilize it. Get all four of those down, get your unit level and stable. We'll hook up your power and water. Big long 30-amp cord plugs in here on the side, goes in at about 10 o'clock and then turns to about 11 on this one, sometimes about noon. But they go in and then turn. So you got a blue light, you got power. Put your black washer on, you're all set. Now if you need to, in your convenience pack will be a 30 to 15 amp reducer if you need to plug into a 110. Throw it on the other end of that. Got your power hooked up. Let's hook up your water. At campsites, your water is going to hook up to a city water connection. Grab yourself a water pressure regulator. Hook that up. Hook up your hose. Don't turn your hose on yet. One more step. We just want to make sure that our hot water heater is all closed up. Drain plugs in there. Put plumber's tape on that. That putty will gum up on you. Get that in there nice and snug. Then you can go ahead and turn that hose on. After that hose has been on for a few minutes, you can go inside and open up your slide and open up all of your water lines. Your sinks, your showers. Get a nice steady flow of water going through those. Shut them off and you're all set to camp. Now let's say we're going to go dry camping. In that case, we're going to fill up our freshwater tank. That is toward the front of your off campsite. No need for a water pressure regulator here. Gravity fill this with a hose. Two ways to tell it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right there. Or two on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks. There's also a freshwater button. Once that's full, put that cap back on there, and then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when hooked up to city water. That's already pressurized. All right, we're all set to camp with power and water. I'll walk you around the rest of the unit, starting here on the off camp side. Little switch for your docking light up here. Access panel to our water lines. This is a bag for your power cord. Again, fresh water. Usually where fresh water is your freshwater drain. Stinky Slinky or sewage hose holder. So you get upgraded to the good one. That's a nice one. Your slide seals, you want to keep those lubricated. Keep them nice and flexible and pliable. It's a hood range, a vent for your hood range. Down here you got your water filter. Use that in between your hose and your unit. Spray port hose. A wheel you can put up front instead of the landing leg, the sand leg. Here's where you dump your black and gray tanks. Your other low point drains. Your power. Got a ladder, utilize it. Go up there 2-3 times a year, check the seams of your roof and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. You have your backup camera on here. On your docking station, we have our city water connection, our tank flush, which we'll talk about when leaving the black tanks, antifreeze inlet for winterizing, and your cable and satellites. Spray port hose will hook up to that to give you an outdoor shower. Access panel to your water lines here, or your water pump. Again, your hot water heater. This is a lip for your table and griddle. 110 here. Quick connect LP right there for all of that hook up. A flue for your furnace. A few things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. If you are running your furnace, steer clear of it. It does get hot. Other side of your pass-through storage with your hitch work in it. There's your backup camera. These are the legs for your griddle. Instructions on that and how to put that up or in it. Solar on the side. You can plug in a solar panel right there and it'll trickle charge your batteries. Your propane does have a cover. There's the handle for your override here. Propane. Green means you got gas pointed toward the tank you wish to be using. Lefty loosey to open. Lastly, we'll have a battery disconnect down here. That will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That will come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide and propane detector. Well, it covers everything out here. Let's go take a look on the inside. Coming up inside the unit, first thing I always like to point out is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camped with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway. Real quick, here's your griddle, table, and cover. To my left as I come in is going to be my control panel. Up top will show the level of my fresh, black, and gray tanks. That freshwater button is one I said to keep an eye on when filling your fresh tank. Over here shows the level of your battery. Awning, step, and interior lights. Open this back up real quick. Going down here, we've got turn on your water heater here if hooked to electric. Your water heater here if hooked to gas. It does make a difference. Choose correctly. Here's where you turn on your water pump to get to that fresh water. Here's a tank heater. That's a little 12-volt pad that's on your tanks in case you think you're in inclement weather and they might freeze. Turn that on. On your awning, a couple things I want to mention. Mainly, when you're running this awning out, you're only going to run it out until the flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see your bar. You can actually stop anywhere in between. You just don't want to run it out past that point. What it will actually do is run out past that point, flip up onto itself, and start running itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you run it out. When your flap is down, that's as far as you want to go. Sometimes that flap sticks and doesn't want to fall right away. It's just because of humidity and the type of material that it is. So just run it in and out at the end a couple of times until your flap falls. Sometimes just let them sit there. But as I run that back in, get your slide control next to that. And I will tell you to download the app. Get on here, download the app, and you can do just about everything from your phone that you can do up here on this control panel. And as my awning comes back in, I'm gonna go ahead and shut off those awning lights and tell you these doors work best when gently slammed. All right, coming up into the unit now, you've got a smart TV. That's the Connex Entertainment TV. Your stereo and radio and television are all on there. Instructions in your manual with your remote, easy to use. Smoke alarm. Solar controller panel. I will send you a video from Go Power. Your only concern is to make sure that that stays unflooded. And what that does is that is the type of battery that you use. This whole purpose of this whole thing is to keep it from overcharging your solar panels. Down below our seating here, it's gonna be your breaker box and fuses. Ton of 15s, a couple 30s, and a 40. Highly recommend having a handful of those with you when you go camping. Back into our bathroom. Just want to mention when you arrive, first just put a couple gallons of water down in there. Your black tank will thank you later. You do have a 110 with GFCI reset in the bathroom. Just want to mention your plumbing. If you travel a lot in this, you're bouncing the house up and down the road. Here's your access panel, square-headed screws. Get in there, check your plumbing out, keep an eye on things, make sure nothing wiggles loose over time. Your vent up here, crank that open, and then turn on here. 4 different speeds there. Shut off our lights, make sure our vent is closed and doors secure for travel. Come to our thermostat real quick, and we'll go right into the AC. Crank that baby up. A little warm in here. There goes that. You see it's got the quick dumps on the side. Notice when I shut the AC off, shuts off rather quickly. Now when I go through and try on your furnace, heat. Get that kick on here. Now you will notice when I shut the heat off, when I cycle through to off, it does take about 2 minutes for that to cycle through before it shuts off. Got a light and a fan over top of your cooktop. These will light with a stick lighter. Make sure your glass top is down for travel. Self-explanatory microwave here. Just want to mention on your fridge, this is a safety strap. Put that like that for travel. This is your inverter. That will invert your battery power to 110 power for a very brief period of time if you need it, if you're out boondocking. Quickly show you how to hook up your Murphy bed. First, your sofa does have cup holders and is a recliner. Pull back on these and recline. So here, get out of the way. And lift up on this to jackknife it down. Remove our locks and watch your fingers. This is a pinch point. Let it down. And just that quickly you've got a bed. Most importantly, putting it back up, you have to lift up. You have to pull out on this. That's going to release your lock. Then you can lift it back up. Set it back up and lock it in. Check this back up. Just that quickly you are back to a sofa. Alright, that about covers everything in here. We've got our smoke alarm here. Let's get ready to leave the unit. Leave the campsite. Shut off my interior lights. That way I can see any other lights that are on. I know it's an accent light that I've turned on by hand. Turn my interior lights back on and say doors and drawers. Walk through the unit. Make sure all doors and drawers are closed. Nothing's going to impede our slide from coming in. Just hit slide in. Make sure your fridge is locked up for traveling. Short slide comes in rather quickly. Shut off all my lights and exit the unit. Now these steps, you want to make sure that your exterior door is all the way open. Otherwise this could catch it on the way in. Lock that in. That's going to keep that from banging up against your screen door. Alright, before we leave the dump station, we're going to lock, deadbolt, lift and turn this handle. Now, I say before we leave the dump station because you're going to go in there and check the levels of your tanks as you're dumping. If we are out dry camping, we're going to get up underneath here, dump our freshwater drain right there, bring up our stabilizing jacks, and head on home or to the nearest dump station, whatever we're in need of. If we are at a campsite, we're going to unhook our power, our water, our cable, bring up our stabilizing jacks, and head on up to the dump station. And at the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is behind your tires, almost at the rear of the unit on your off-camp side. arrive, hook up and pull your black handle. Once it sounds like it's no longer draining, go inside, check the level of your black tank. If it shows empty or close to it, come back out here, leave this black handle open, grab the hose at the dump station, and come on over to this tank flush. Hook that hose up here, again emphasizing with that black handle open. Turn that on, let that run for a good 5 minutes. It's going to wash that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, remove that hose. Come back over here, make sure all that washout water you just put in there has drained. And you can pull your black and pull your gray. So close your black and pull your gray. Now while my grays are draining, you get up underneath here and dump those low point drains. You're done camping for the season. You don't want to leave hot water in your hot water heater. Get it all stagnant, come over here. Line them up just right. Get up in here and lift up on this pressure release valve. Well, that'll dump a little bit of hot water out of there, so be careful. When that's done, go ahead and pull your drain plug for your residual hot water. Then we're going to go ahead and take that sewage hose, remove it, come up here and store it in our stinky slinky container. Great spot for your sewage hose. And head on home. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Epro for many years to come. Happy camping.